Assalamu alaikum class. Today we will discuss about the topic making negative announcements on the routine business matters. First, we have discussed about writing negative messages. This is page number 200 from where I will start. Now let's see what is meant by making negative announcement on routine business matters. For unexpected negative messages on routine matters, the indirect approach is usually more appropriate. How we will discuss it. Many negative messages are written in response to requests from an internal or external correspondent. But on occasion, managers need to make unexpected announcement of a negative nature. For example, a company might decide to consolidate its material purchasing with fewer suppliers, or thereby need to tell several firms it will no longer be buying from them. Internally, management may need to announce the elimination of an employee benefit or other changes that employees will view negatively. Although such announcements happen in the normal course of business, they are generally unexpected. Accordingly, except in the case of minor changes, the indirect approach is usually the better choice. Follow the steps outlined for indirect messages. Open with a buffer that we have already discussed in the previous lecture, that establishes some mutual ground between you and the reader. Advance your response, announce the change, and close with a much positive information and sentiment as appropriate under the circumstances. The next point is rejecting suggestions and proposals, that how you people can reject suggestions or proposal. Rejecting suggestions and proposals, particularly if you asked for input, requires special care and tact, because you need to maintain a positive working relationship. Positive working relationship has a great importance in this field. So at every step you are to be careful about your positive relationship with your customer. Managers receive a variety of suggestions and proposals, both solicited or unsolicited, means requested or about which they are requested or unrequested, from internal as well as external sources. For an unsolicited proposal, means that is not in favor, from an external source, you may not even need to respond if you don't already have a working relationship with the sender. However, if you need to reject a proposal you solicited, you owe the sender an explanation, right ji? So explanation is required for at every step while this process. And because the news will be unexpected, the indirect approach is better. In general, the closer your working relationship, the more thoughtful and complete you need to be in your response. For example, if you are rejecting a proposal for an employee, explain your reasons fully and carefully so that the employee can understand why the proposal was not accepted. So, explanation will be required. If you are to reject a proposal or suggestion, then you should be knowing that what are the reasons and what are the thoughts behind rejecting this proposal, and so that you don't damage or demolish the important working relationships. Refusing routine requests, that how you can refuse routine requests. When turning down an invitation or request for a favor, consider your relationship with the reader. When you are unable to meet a routine request, your primary communication challenge is to give a clear negative response without generating negative feelings or damaging either your personal reputation or the companies. It means that if you are in a situation that has put you in a circumstances where you cannot cope with the request and you are to refuse. Then how you can refuse it? You have to provide. It will be a challenge for you, and you have to give a clear negative response while taking care of that you will not generate any negative feelings, or also you will not damage your personal reputation, not only your but also company's reputation as well. As simple as these messages may appear to be, they can test your skills as a communicator, because you often need to deliver negative information while maintaining a positive relationship with the other party. So positivity or positive relationship are very important, and you are to save them as much as you can. It is not for your own reputation but also for the company's reputation. So here I will discuss some points. Manage your time carefully, focus on the most important relationships and requests. If the matter is closed, don't imply that it's still open by using phrases such as let me think about it or get back to you as a way to delay saying no. The next point, that is, if you aren't in a position to offer additional information or assistance, don't imply that you are. The next is handling bad news about transactions, that how you can handle bad news about transactions. Some negative messages regarding transactions carry a significant business ramifications. But bad news about transactions is always unwelcome and usually unexpected. Uh, when you send such messages, you have three goals. So number one is modify the customer's expectations. You have to modify the customer's expectations, as they are very important for you and for your company. Then you will explain how you plan to resolve the situation. You have a pretty good plan behind your explanation, in which you will explain to the customer that how you can handle the situation or resolve the situation or matter. Then you will repair whatever damage might have been done to the business relationships. So these are very important points that you cannot ignore. The specific content and tone of each message can vary widely depending on the nature of the transaction and your relationship with the customer. Telling an individual consumer that his news sweater will be arriving that his new sweater will be arriving a week later than you promised is a much simpler task than telling Toyota that 30 lakhs transaction parts will be a week late or so on. Right ji? The next point that is your approach to bad news about business transactions depends on the customer's expectations. So you will focus that, and you should be knowing that what are the expectations on customer's side. If you haven't done anything specific to set the customer's expectation, such as providing delivery within 24 hours, the message simply needs to inform the customer of the situation with little or no emphasis on apologies. Next is that use the indirect approach in most cases of refusing a claim. How you will use indirect approach while refusing claims and requests for adjustments, that how you can adjust the matters or your purchasing or dealings. Customers who make a claim or request an adjustment tend to be emotionally involved. So, the indirect approach is usually the better choice when you are denying such a request. Your delicate task as a writer is to avoid accepting responsibility for the unfortunate situation, and yet avoid blaming or accusing the customer. So you are not supposed to accuse the customer at any cost. To steer clear of these pitfalls, what is meant by pitfalls? Traps, you can say. Pay special attention to the tone of your letter. Demonstrate that you understand and have considered the complaint carefully, and then rationally explain why you are refusing the request. Close on a respectful and action oriented note. The next one is that with so many sending negative employment messages, how you can send negative employment messages. Here you will be describing successful strategies for sending negative employment related messages, right ji? As a manager, you will find yourself in a variety of situations when you have to convey bad news to individual employees or potential employees. Recipients have an emotional stake in the messages, so take the indirect approach is usually advised. Sorry. So taking the indirect approach is usually advised. In addition, use great care in choosing your medium for each situation. For instance, email or other written forms let you control the message and avoid personal confrontation. But one-on-one conversation are often viewed as more sensitive and give both sides the opportunity to ask and answer questions. Refusing requests for recommendation letters. Managers may get requests for recommendation letters from other employers and from past employees. When sending refusals to the other employers who have requested information about a former employee of yours, your message can be brief and direct. This message doesn't need to say, we cannot comply with your request. It simply gives the reader all the information that is allowable. Refusing an applicant's direct request for a recommendation letter is another matter. Any refusal to cooperate may seem to be a personal slight or a threat to the applicant's future. So, diplomacy and preparation help readers accept your refusals. Refusing that The next point is how you can refuse social networking recommendation requests. Social networks have created new challenges in recommendations requests, but they also offer more flexibility in responding to these requests. Making recommendation is a in a social networking environment is more complicated than with the traditional recommendation letters, because the endorsement you give become part of your online profit on a network such as LinkedIn. Other can see whom you have recommended and what you have written about these people. So the next one is rejecting job applicants. How you can reject job applicants in some specific situation. Experts degree on which elements to include in a rejection letter, but the safest strategy is a minimalist approach. Acha, what application rejection messages are routine communications. You know that in companies applicants are also accepting and rejecting, so this is a routine matter and routine communication between the company and the applicants. But saying no is never easy, and recipients are emotionally invested in the decision. Moreover, companies must be aware of the possibility of employment discrimination lawsuits, which have been on the rise in recent years. Of course, having fair and non discriminatory hiring practices is essential, but rejections must also be written in a way that doesn't inadvertently suggest any hint of discrimination. So the company should be aware from these kind of rejections if they are in a position where they are to reject the applicants. So there should be these refusals or rejections should be free of any type of discrimination. So personalize the message by using the recipient's name. Dear applicant can make it sounds as though you never bother to read the application. Open with a courteous expression of appreciation for having applied. In a sense, this is like the buffer in an indirect message, because it gives you an opportunity to begin the conversation without immediately and bluntly telling the reader that his or her application has been rejected. Convey the negative news politely and concisely. The passive voice is helpful in this situation because it depersonalizes the response. For example, your application was not among these selected for an interview is less blunt than the active phrase we have rejected your application. So the way you present the things can change your the can change your purpose. Next point, that is avoid explaining why an applicant was rejected and why other applicants were chosen instead. So here the company is in a difficult situation or challenging as well. How that here the company has to be uh, cleared, has to provide the clear information that why an applicant is and with sorry and why the application is being rejected and what are the reasons, and if the other some other applications are accepted, so what are the reasons. So you have to be very balanced in this process. You will also make clear the situation in front of the applicants. Avoid explaining why an applicant was rejected and why other applicants were chosen instead. Although it was once more common to offer such explanations, and some experts still advocate this approach, the simplest strategy from a legal standpoint is to avoid offering reasons for the decision. Avoiding explanations lowers the possibility that an applicant will receive discrimination in the hiring decision or be tempted to challenge the reasons given. Don't state or imply that the application will be reviewed as a later date. Saying that we will keep your resume or file for future consideration can create false hopes for the recipient and leave the company vulnerable to legal complaints if a future hiring decision is made without actually reviewing this candidate's application again. Right ji? Close with positive wishes with the applicant's career success. A brief statement such as "We wish you success in your career" is sufficient. Naturally, you should adjust your tactics to the circumstances. A simple and direct written message is fine. Uh, Giving negative performance reviews. By giving employees clear goals and regular feedback, you can help avoid unpleasant surprises in a performance review. Performance reviews are designed to clarify job requirements, give employees feedback on their performance relative to those requirements, and establish a personal plan of action to ensure continued performance in the future. Performance reviews also help companies set organizational standards and communicate organizational values. The worst possible outcome in an annual review is a negative surprise, such as when an employee has been working toward different goals than the manager expects, or has been un, un, underperforming uh, throughout the year but didn't receive any feedback or improvement coaching along the way. To avoid negative surprises, managers should provide regular feedback and coaching as needed throughout the year. Regardless, document performance problem in detail as they happen. Okay, negative evaluations should provide careful documentations of performance concerns. So what is meant by this point? You will need this information to write an effective appraisal or to support any decision that need to be made about pay, promotions, or terminations. Evaluate all employees consistently. Consistency is not only fair but also helps protect the company from claims of discriminatory practices. Maintain the calm, objective tone. Manage the emotions of the situation by maintaining professional reserve in your writing. Keep job description up to date. If a job evolves over time in response to change in the business, the employee's current activities may no longer match an outdated job description. You have to then there is a focus on opportunities for improvement. This information can serve as the foundation for an improvement plan for the coming year. Terminating employment. So if an employment carefully word a termination letter to avoid creating undue ill will and grounds for legal action. So, in this point, if an employee's performance cannot be brought up to the company standards, or if other factors such as declining sales cause a reduction in the workforce, a company often has two choice but to terminate employment. So there is no situation left, or there is no point left where the company can compromise. So the only choice is the termination. As with other negative employment messages, termination is fraught with emotions and legal ramifications. So careful planning, complete documentation, and sensitive writing are very essential. Clearly present the reasons for this difficult action, whether it is the employee's performance or a business decision unrelated to performance. Make sure the reasons are presented in a way that cannot be construed as unfair or discriminatory. Sending negative organizational messages. How you people can, how this negative organizational news are sending. As a manager or business owner, you may at times need to issue negative announcements regarding some aspect of your products, services, or operations. Unlike routine negative announcements, these messages involve significant changes that negatively affect one or more groups. Match your approach to the situation. For example, in an emergency such as product tampering or a toxic spill, get to the point immediately and make sure all affected parties get the information they need. Then you have to consider the unique needs of each group. When a company or facility close for an instant, employees and need time to find new jobs. Customers may need to find new supplies, and company leaders may need to be prepared to help people who have lost their jobs. Minimize the element of surprise whenever possible. Give affected groups as much time as possible to prepare a response. If possible, give yourself enough time to plan and manage response. Make sure you are ready with answers to potential questions. Look for positive angles, but don't exude false optimism. Lying, seek expert advice. Many significant negative announcements have important technical, financial, or legal elements that require the expertise of lawyers, accountants, or other specialists. Responding to negative information in a social media environment. For all the benefits, they here they describe an effective strategy for responding to negative information in a social media environment. For all the benefits they bring to business, social media and other communication technologies have created a major new challenge: responding to online rumors, false information, and attacks on a company's reputation. Consumers and other stakeholders can now communicate through blogs, Twitter, YouTube, social networking sites, advocacy sites. So here are also mentioned some sites. Customers who believe they have been treated unfairly like these sites and tools because they can use the public exposure as leverage. Many companies appreciate the feedback to and many actively seek out complaints to improve their products and operations. However, false rumors and both fair and unfair criticisms can spread around the world in a matter of minutes with the help of social media, blogs. Responding to rumors and countering negative information requires an ongoing effort and case by case decisions by which messages require a response. For this purpose you have to follow 4 steps. First of all, engage early, engage often. What is meant by this? As Matt Roots points out the beginning of the chapter, the most important step in responding to negative information has to be done before the negative information appears, and that is to engage with communities to stay of stakeholders as a long-term strategy. Companies that have active mutually beneficial relationships with customers and other interested parties are less likely to be attacked unfairly online and more likely to survive such attacks if they do occur. In contrast, companies that ignore constituents or jump into spin doctoring mode when a negative situation occurs don't have the same credibility as companies that have done the long hard work of fostering relationships within their physical and online communities. Number 2 is monitor the conversation. If people are interested in what your company does, chances are they are blogging, tweeting, podcasting, posting videos, writing on Facebook walls, uh, and otherwise sharing their opinions. Use automated reputation analysis and other technologies to listen to what people are saying. Number 3, evaluate negative messages. How you can evaluate when you encounter negative messages. Resist the urge to fire back immediately. Instead, evaluate the source, the tone, and the content of the message, and then choose a response that fits the situation. For example, the public affairs agencies of US Air Force group senders of negative messages into 4 categories, including trolls, those who only intend is to stir up conflict; rages, those who are just ranting or telling jokes; the misguided, those who are spreading incorrect information; and unhappy customers, those who have had a negative experience with the Air Force. Number 4, response appropriately. After you have assessed a negative message, quickly make the appropriate response based on an overall public relations plan. The Air Force, for instance, does